Hi, this is Paul Chapman from Derby Community Acupuncture and also the 12 Earthly Branches Study Group, our Facebook group following Daily Flow and Chinese Medicine Online. And we're at a very interesting time of the year. And also this is a time that occurs every single day between the hours of 7 and 1 or 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. And it involves the change, the movement from the hexagrams of Qi in heaven, which is, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but it's this one here, the 6 yang lines, which relates to this time period of the seer branch, 9 to 11 a.m., the spleen meridian in fire, and also the Kun Earth hexagram, so the 6 yin lines, which is in the Sanjiao, 9 to 11 p.m. And it's quite a significant time, in particularly with these three, the interaction of these three hexagrams. Here we have the hexagram here relating to the stomach, then the one here relating to the spleen, and then this one to the heart. And we can maybe see here that if we were to invert this hexagram here, we end up with this one. And the same here, when we invert the pericardium tidal hexagram, it inverts to the Gall Bladder tidal hexagram through the mediation of Earth. Let's just look at this a little bit more detail. So if we put names to the hexagrams, in the Northern Hemisphere, the time at the moment you're transiting from the first branch of summer, the birth branch of the Ser branch, spleen, into the Wu branch, the exuberant branch of summer in the heart. And in the Southern Hemisphere, we're moving from the Sanjiao and the high branch, Kun Earth, into the Gall Bladder branch, which has the turning back or return hexagram. So in regard to, well, let's just do a simple thing we can do for this one. If we look here, if we just make a little verse up for the Northern Hemisphere, we've got eliminating that which is motivated by fear. So in the stomach branch, one of it's called a storage branch. It's one of the 4 Earth transition branches, the other 3 being liver, small intestine, and pericardium. And the storage branch of the stomach stores water. And it needs to store the water energetic because we're moving now into full-on exuberant summer Qi. And the water Qi is converse or opposite to that. So it is stored in the stomach branch. So eliminating that which is motivated by fear. So during the time of the spleen, as it moves from the 6 yang lines in initiating to the heaven over wind, where you've got 1 yin line at the base and the heart meridian. So already here we are starting to see the increase of the yin energy, which means that when we initiate in the spleen time, the branch of the spleen, the initiation is based on selflessness and coming into contact with what drives and motivates our behaviour, and putting a little bit of a check on that, that we make sure that all of our growth and abundance that is to come is not based on selfish desires, but is based on a desire to support and assist all living beings. And that's so we initiate a new direction in that regard. And then when we move into the heart branch, starting with a new moon on the 6th of June, we encounter relational resonance and feedback. So our feedback to our to ground, you could say, our new direction within the spleen, within the initiating hexagram, is the feedback we get from our relationships. This tells us how we respond, and the response that comes back to us. It helps us to check our internal compass. And then if we look to the Southern Hemisphere, we have falling apart. So at this stage, the one yang line remaining, so we got 5 yin below and 1 yang top. Both are Earth trigrams of mountain and Earth. That all resistance is released. And resistance here is resistance to further movement, further chasing desires. So it's very much a time where we are now transiting into the Gall Bladder, into the turning back, into the beginning or the return of the Yang Qi, which happens at winter solstice in the south. And we're actually planting seeds. So in the Kun Earth hexagram of responding, are we able to receive all that the Earth is, all that nature has dropped to the Earth, and so that the Earth can absorb it and distill it into compost, basically. So that when we come to the turning back, we turn back the soil of a new beginning, a new start. Now, for some of my acupuncture friends who use I Ching or are interested in balance method, there's just a couple of things to think about that you might like to have a look at and study up. So we've used the first pair here. We've got the eliminating in the Northern Hemisphere, and we've got falling apart in the Southern Hemisphere. So here you can say that the hexagram of eliminating has Dway Lake, which is yin metal, over heaven, which is yang metal. So this is basically a metal hexagram, and it's the joy of life demonstrated through the purity of heaven. When we use single points for these two hexagrams, for the eliminating we have urinary bladder 40 or gall bladder 34. So these can respond to the head, being the 6th line of a hexagram is the head. Also relates to heaven. The 2 upper lines are related to heaven, and the 6th line is also the sage. Whereas the pericardium 7 and heart 7, so that would be the 3rd line, this one changing. It's more representative of the lower GL and or upper GL, related to the man element, as it's the 3rd and 4th lines of a hexagram are associated to man. And it's also the position of the Lord. So the 3rd line's getting closer and closer to the king. It's often a line that's advisable to be cautious of your intentions, to make sure that the closer you are to positions of power, the more sagely your advice. And for the Gun Mountain, we see kidney 10 and liver 8, and small intestine 3 and Sanjiao 3. And we could put those together in a group here. We've got Taiyang Xiaoyin, heart 7, small intestine 3, UB40, kidney 10, and Xiaoyang Jueyin, pericardium, Sanjiao, gallbladder, and liver. And then we've also got an option where we can combine all 4 of those. So we could look at the Taiyang Xiaoyin as functioning. So there's either over-functioning or under-functioning. And all of these are as a means of maintaining safety. So these are our neurological go-to areas that have been built into us through our conditioning through life, where we try to compensate for insufficiencies. It can relate to the neck and shoulder area, covering balancing the meridians of urinary bladder, gallbladder, Sanjiao, small intestine, large intestine, and lung. And if we also look at the lower back or abdominal area, urinary bladder, gallbladder, spleen, liver, kidney. The Hersu points can treat the elbow, but can also, it's related to the middle GL. And the shoe stream in this situation we're using to treat the ankle, but also representative of the upper GL. But if we reverse the image, it can also be lower GL. The controlling cycle, so elements of life are controlled in order to maintain safety. And you can see the balance in meridians. It's quite astonishing that Xiaoyang Jui Yin, when we're looking at neck and shoulder, actually balances the gall bladder, the Sanjiao, small intestine, large intestine, stomach. So the urinary bladder is the only one of the 6 head meridians not utilised. But we've also got lung, pericardium, heart, so fabulous for all chest conditions, and also got split kidney, spleen, and liver. So all the 3 yin of the legs are also included in it. You can do that also for heaven and earth combination, and I've left you one to do for yourselves. If you also do the final combinations of encountering and turning back, you might also come up with some interesting ideas. Here we've got the Tai Yin Yang Ming combo, digesting. So how we digest life, what we take in, what we accept and what we cut away, what nourishes us, what doesn't. And we can see here for the head, face, or for the head and face, we've got urinary bladder, stomach, Sanjiao, small intestine, and large intestine covered. And for the feet, liver, spleen, and kidney. So again, the 3 yin on the feet. Chest and abdo channels, lung, heart, spleen, pericardium, liver, stomach, and kidney. Here we've got Jing well points. We've got Yin spring, and we've got Jing river and Yuan points. Again, reflected in different areas of the body and the meridians that they balance. This is a 2-point combination. This is not a strict rule to use these in their particular format, but just for contemplation, consideration, and how we might utilise the tidal hexagrams at this time of the year, how we may step into this pivotal change in the months coming with the summer and winter solstices. May we plant the seeds in the south, in the Southern Hemisphere. This is the time to be clear about what we're planting into the Gall Bladder meridian, into the Zi branch, into the midwinter, because it is the foundation for what comes. And for the harvest in the Northern Hemisphere, again, be clear about your intention. Where are you moving? What's happening at this particular time of year? Some form of contemplative, reflective process on June 6th at the new moon could be quite valuable. And also to remember that this does happen on a daily basis. I hope you enjoyed this little discourse on the time of year, and I hope you're all well, happy, and free from fear.